You can find DIP on the SIASH data section at the SIAT website.
The DIP initiative is a tool to support tax compliance control that provides relevant information on sources of public information for tax administrations. The purpose of DIP is to facilitate the identification and access of public information relevant to the tax control by officers in charge of control tasks. For DIP purposes, public information is the information that is publicly available and is useful for tax control, managed by public organizations or others, whether it is published or not, or is onerous or not. The main advantages of DIP consist of: first, reducing the time needed to identify and access to international public information sources, useful to evaluate tax non-compliance risks. How do we plan to reduce the time to access to international public information sources? By giving all the necessary tools to search sources under different criteria. Information to know if the source is useful for the purpose of the user. Data to understand how to access to the source. Mechanisms to access to the information. What are the mentioned mechanisms? Links. Contact information of institutions. Easy access when the information is not available online, or require to be obtained through a special procedure, or in person in the relevant country. Second, ensuring compliance with the principle of subsidiarity, necessary to proceed to request information via international instruments that allow the exchange of information. The information provided by the DIP tool is available in 3 languages, Spanish, English and Portuguese. However, the data from information sources that DIP offers are found in the language of the country or organization that controls them. DIP offers 2 types of service: access to information sources published on Internet, and access to unpublished information sources or requiring special procedures. For these cases, where communication between users is necessary, DIP offers a messaging service. The users of DIP are tax administrations which provide to DIP public information available in their respective countries. Exceptionally, other organizations could be users, only if they provide information that is of interest to the main DIP users, that are the tax administrations. In order to access DIP, it is necessary to be registered as user before login using a password. The sources of information contained in DIP are classified according to different categories, in order to facilitate the search of information. You can also search information through the browser. As an alternative, if the information you are looking for is related to a particular country, you can make the search by countries. It is also possible to make combinations of filters. Currently, DIP contains 219 sources of information, from 13 different countries, from Ibero-America, classified in 24 categories. The service structure is based on a standard specially designed for DIP. A service contains: first, a short explanation of the content of the source. Second, the name of the entity that publishes it. Third, whether obtaining the information implies a cost or not. Fourth, the necessary data to be provided in order to obtain the information. And finally, the information fields that is possible to obtain. After evaluating this description, if the source seems of interest for the user could access the website. In case that the source is not associated to a website, it will be necessary to ask for it to other tax administration. These services are identified by a kind of headphones. Clicking on the icon, a messaging system will be activated. The consulted country will look for the information, and will send it to the requester country. This messaging service is managed in the zone called a call center. In both cases, a online and outline services, the user can make an evaluation of the quality of the service by clicking on the stars, being 5 stars the best qualification.
For more information, you may contact